and start a family.
Hey, Carter.
What's up, man?
Hey. How you doing?
Good. You got another week and then you're out of here?
Yeah, a week from Wednesday.
And then River's gonna get married? Is this still happening? Is this really becoming true?
Is this real?
Is this becoming true?
Yeah. Apparently. It's real, man.
Oh, man.
Hey. Have you all followed any of the Twitter conversation about like whether like the Constitution is even like alive?
Saw that.
Worth
Its salt anymore?
yeah.
If Frederick Douglass can say he thinks so, I don't think we can say no.
Well, yeah. Although you got whatever. How many years since Frederick Douglass in the administrative state? And
150.
I'm assuming
175 years.
But I'm saying how broken it was, and how he felt about his rights, and the ability for them to be restored, or even put in place anyway. He's coming from a much more broken position than ours.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, he was enslaved.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
No, but his situation is now true of all of us now.
Right. And my point is,
But I don't see the logic.
we came out of it.
No,
That's
we
the
didn't.
logic.
No, we didn't.
Well,
It got worse.
That's
It got worse.
argument,
well, it depends on how you consider slavery.
Yeah.
Because if you think this is the exact same thing, I would say, of course not.
Yeah. No.
But we didn't get out of it because the Constitution delivered us. We got out of it because of Abe Lincoln in the war.
No, we all got guns put to our heads, and they all said, "You all be good, and we won't kill you anymore."
Granted, I'm not willing to concede any of those, or to argue against any of those, except to say the fact that whatever we got, it would have been better had we followed all the way through with the Constitution, right? But Frederick Douglass had the same opportunity in one way or another to say, yeah, you're right, shred it up. Shred it up.
Yeah.
And that's what the abolitionists wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not willing to do that.
Yeah, I know. No, but I think it's a different. I don't know. I kind of think it's a different set of.
You have to reposition the whole argument.
Yeah.
And I might find some agreement there with that, but I think if you're looking at the argument the same way that he was, I don't think he would say, yeah, you're right, let's completely get rid of the whole thing. This is what I think Bonson has been trying to fight people.
Oh yeah, no. I'm there. I'm just guess I'm not sure of the.
Striking, guys.
Neil, how do I get a photo on my computer?
You could. Well, what photo is it?
It's a.
So are you saying that
It's a
you don't see
picture.
any way back
For
from
what?
that?
For
No,
the Butker
I'm
show.
not saying that. I agree with the point
CP's
of.
Mac Mini. If
I
you want to interrupt us.
I am interested in. I think
Are you on Facebook?
I think we still have something worth preserving.
Yes, I am.
So you save that photo.
But
Saving it. Okay, airdrop.
Yeah,
I'm saying-
CP's Mac Mini.
Okay.
I'm just not sure if the. I'm not sure if the Frederick Douglass, if there's enough analogous to the current situation. That's all I'm questioning. I actually am with.
You think we're in a worse situation than Frederick Douglass?
Well, not worse than him, but I think the country is. Like the whole like constitutional republic is like.
You don't think the Constitution was in potential to fall apart?
No, I did.
Okay.
But I think it's like it was. It had major. I just think it's like. Trying to think what the right analogy is, but I would just say that
I'm not calling it a one-for-one parallel.
the republic is in a way different, far more corrupt state now than it was then.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. Historically, I'm willing to argue that. But especially when you got George Washington right after we established our country,
Yeah.
go out and bring the war to all the Scots right after. I don't.
But I think the apparatus, like, so the corruption was there because of human nature, but I don't think there was decades and centuries of corruption sort of ensconced in the apparatus, in the bureaucracy. I mean, just like the administrative state wasn't there. It'd be like two guys like fired them. Now you have like,
it's bigger.
Millions.
You have it stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's like there was cancer then, but the cancer is metastasized.
Now you don't have any legs. Is that what you're trying to get?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like that part, I think, is not analogous.
You're saying it's hard to dig out now.
And I'm still with Frederick Douglass.
But no, I get you. But are you saying though that it's harder to dig out now than it would have been?
Yeah.
So, but couldn't you have said that about the same thing about 1990? Like it would have been easier to dig out.
Sure.
Just refer to the Pope.
And I still think we should.
It's not a good clip. I don't have a Pope clip for you.
What's driving
He was
the
on
interest
CNN?
in that conversation?
He was
for
on
your
60
ads?
Minutes.
Yes.
So he was on 60 Minutes, and he says exactly what you're saying.
I guess
It's just, I don't have
the
a quick
main
clip that I can
interest
grab for you.
Is it
I think
or what's wrong with the clip?
my concerns
There's too
about
much to do
revolution.
to get that clip.
Because I think
We can't get the clip.
I can't get the
versus
clip, but just say
Reformation.
that just say he was on 60 Minutes. Because
Okay.
That's my concern.
you were right. You were right. He's on 60 Minutes, and he says exactly what you're saying.
That revolution is
Because I think it's just one more step, and this is where like I think Michael O'Fallon and James Lindsay are probably right. Is
they're
that
pushing us into
there are people who are
Taking the
intentionally or unintentionally wanting to set things up for, and now all that's left is chaos.
But isn't that Doug's point about the whole Civil War anyway? Which is the revolution of the Civil War wasn't good. Right? It should have been
Get married
Right.
and
it should have
start.
been something that had progressively happened instead of a war which is kind of the same, it's still the same position. Like whether or not the Constitution, like you still don't do a war or you don't go hot in order to be able to fix it.
Right.
There's still a process, and we still have, and this is where Bond said, we still have a lot of handles in order to be able to turn the ship.
Yeah.
And I think even the show that we did with Boyer proves that.
Yep.
So I don't feel like
Right, but a bunch of our friends, I think,
Are in the other
tempted
side.
the other way, and so I'm with you. And I guess part of the question, and maybe rhetorically, it's a question of how do you demonstrate appreciation for the depth of the corruption, and there's this new guy at King's Cross. I just found out that he clerked for Roy Moore.
I still got that old interview we never released with Roy.
Yeah. Anyways, he was. So he's a new guy, but he was the guy who told me. I think I told you this recently, but he was like the first class he took to take his bar exam. The guy was like, "All right, everything you learned about the Constitution, forget it." He said it will. He says if you think that our courts actually function according to the Constitution, you're not going to make it. You will not pass the
you
bar,
just said about law,
and
period.
you cannot function.
You said about law, period.
And basically, he went through like the Constitution line by line and says basically where it says this, basically it means the opposite of that now. Where it says this, it means the opposite of that now. This is how the courts work.
You know who's really who's understood this for a long time now? A lot of the people. This is why I think the woke movement really failed us. I think they actually had real arguments to be made. I think they actually had some real arguments to be made about law, the breakdown of law, the application of law, and because they made it racial, they just
And emotional.
yeah. Well, I don't even mind the emotional side of it.
So long as it's grounded.
It's as long as it was grounded, because I can understand somebody being emotional about being mistreated by the law.
Right.
Right? I can understand that. But when you say that I'm only
No,
being
no.
treated this way because
Yeah,
of my
yeah,
race,
yeah.
and you're emotional about it,
Well, when a couple of white kids put stickers on poles, then we care.
finally. I don't mind. And they should be
Toby's
the
just
first,
gonna admit it.
and they should be the first
Black
one.
kids put stickers on poles.
And that's fine. My whole point is they should be the first one saying
And when
yes.
when some white folks got arrested for singing songs, then we cared. We said there's some corruption in the police.
But my whole argument about this is like
I know. No, I
because
agree.
of the bifurcation
I
here,
know.
they should have been they should be having marches right now saying,
No,
"Yo, like you know what I mean? Like
I
that's
know.
what they should be.
But-
This is what we've been talking about."
But it gets co-opted. It gets co-opted so fast, and it's like it's a mess.
I don't know if that's
Who's having these discussions? I haven't seen them.
Andrew Walker and Nate Fisher. But so it's sort of crossing like some of the different sort of parties. Was the one I saw. There was Nate Fisher made something posted something about if you think we're still under the Constitution, you're a fool. And then a bunch of people overreacted and were like thinking that like he was.
This is red meat for some folks.
Yeah, you got people who overreact and think he's saying more than he's saying. I think he's primarily being descriptive, and not prescriptive, not like and then Andrew Walker wrote kind of a little short essay on Twitter, kind of interacting with that. I thought it was a friendly interaction, but no, I think we still have a semblance of a constitution. It's corrupt. It needs to be reformed. And I guess, my interest is, I would like to, I think the guys that are talking about, I think Nate Fisher's making a valid point. I mean, Christopher Caldwell makes this point really well. Like
Doug's been making this point for a long time.
In his book. And yet, I also think that the reformational instinct says, we want to preserve anything that can be preserved. We want to preserve.
Isn't the
rather than let's just burn it down and start over.
Well, that's the thing. So this is the part that I think everyone who wants to play by the rules gets tripped up on, because if there are no more rules and there is no more Constitution and I'm trying to play by it, there's no way I can win playing by that process. That's what I think is like underneath all of it. It's like, okay, you want me to play by the rules.
Right.
Christopher Caldwell done told me they done broke all of them.
Right. So that's right. And I think
that's the question.
The new founding and some of the Christian nationalist conversation is saying.
That's what I be thinking.
Saying if you insist I play by the rules, you're insisting that I will lose.
Right.
And I'm tired of losing.
That's all we've been doing.
I want my country back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I think that's right. And that's where I think where biblical Christians have the advantage of saying we're going to play by biblical rules.
I can't. I wish we have to do this at the show.
But we can do this tomorrow because we got two slots.
There are two shows. Yeah.
We got two slots. We got to frame out.
You know what's really funny about that, Pastor? We really do have. I don't know how to have this conversation again, but I think this is what the Reconstructionists were trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
When they saw this back in the 60s and the 70s, right? I think this is like, okay, here goes and this is what Moscow has done. Okay, what's the rules that we play by? Okay, we still want to believe that with the Constitution's at play.
2 minutes.
Oh, we're going live in 2 minutes?
Patriot Academy is inside. You guys ready? It's 2:00.